Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was a Colombian drug lord, narco-terrorist, and a politician, who was the founder and sole leader of the Medellín Cartel. Dubbed the King of Cocaine, Escobar was the wealthiest criminal in history, having amassed an estimated net worth of $30 billion by the time of his death, equivalent to $70 billion as of 2022, while his drug cartel monopolized the cocaine trade into the United States in the 1980s and early 1990s. Escobar was born in Rionegro, Antioquia Department, Colombia. He was the third of 7 children and grew up in poverty, in the neighboring city of Medellín. His father was a small farmer and his mother was a teacher. Escobar left high school in 1966 just before his 17th birthday, before returning 2 years later with his cousin Gustavo Gaviria. At this time, the hard life on the streets of Medellín had polished them into gangster bullies in the eyes of teachers. Escobar began his criminal career as a petty thief and smuggler. In the early 1970s, he began to traffic cocaine, and quickly rose to become one of the most powerful drug lords in the world. The Medellín Cartel under Escobar's leadership was responsible for the shipment of billions of dollars worth of cocaine into the United States each year. Escobar's wealth and power allowed him to buy off politicians, judges, and law enforcement officials. He also used violence to intimidate his enemies. The Medellín Cartel was responsible for the deaths of thousands of people, including politicians, judges, journalists, and even innocent civilians. In the late 1980s, Escobar's drug empire began to crumble. The United States government stepped up its efforts to crack down on the cocaine trade, and Escobar was forced to go into hiding. He was eventually captured and imprisoned in 1991, but he escaped from prison 2 years later. Escobar was finally killed in a shootout with Colombian police on December 2, 1993. His death was a major victory for the Colombian government, but the legacy of Pablo Escobar continues to haunt Colombia today. Here are some of the most notable events in Pablo Escobar's life. 1966, Escobar leaves high school to pursue a life of crime. 1970s, Escobar begins to traffic cocaine and quickly becomes one of the most powerful drug lords in the world. 1980s, the Medellín Cartel under Escobar's leadership is responsible for the shipment of billions of dollars worth of cocaine into the United States each year. 1989, Escobar is placed on the FBI's most wanted list. 1991, Escobar is captured and imprisoned in La Catedral, a prison he had built to his own specifications. 1992, Escobar escapes from La Catedral. 1993, Escobar is killed in a shootout with Colombian police. Pablo Escobar's life and legacy are still being explored today. He has been the subject of numerous books, films, and documentaries. His story is one of greed, violence, and power, but it is also a story of the human cost of the drug trade.